I know you're awake. We're late. Although Laura Livengood says that single digit late is okay. Certainly for the internets. Maybe not for network. It's like
And of course, on a Saturday.
on a Saturday. But you know, it's like $100,000 a minute for network production. That's a lot of cost. Good morning, everybody. This cover, that's beautiful. That was from Patrick Lamb. Sent that. That's Lake Tahoe, what I understand. Hey, Jonathan and Metalhead and Phil and Bev and Stock and Laura and who else is in here? Lynn. I know Eco was up earlier. A lot of people hanging early. Jeffrey, hey, Density, Phil. Man, so many people. Froze. You guys have been having a conversation for a long, like since 9. Been on since
Yeah,
9.
it's great. You go in there like, okay, you
Yeah,
guys are doing great.
it's crazy. Well, good morning, everybody. We have quite a list, and oh yeah, computers already give me. So I'm
Yeah.
just gonna tell you, we're not out of the woods with Eileen 1 and the server. I ordered a new memory because I ordered the wrong memory because I'm old and memory now requires a lot more specifications than it used to. It used to just be, I need some memory. Just take a couple rocks and stick them in there. Now I gotta, be more specific with timing and this other bullshit. And so I had to do the Amazon return. Oh, great. My YouTube chat just crashed. The YouTube chat just crashed. There's things wrong with the Windows system. I have to wipe machine. You know, you gotta Windows users. You know this. Either you buy a new machine because you're pissed off because it doesn't work like shit anymore, or every 2 years you wipe your drives, you reload everything because Windows is just so full of shit, and that's just what you got to do. At least that's what a decade of XP on that. All right, and this is, by the way, I'm running on Windows XP 64 because it is still more solid than really 7, 8, 9, 10. Although a lot of people telling me 10 has potential, but I'm just afraid. Um,
If only you could find the disc with the key on it so that you can replace it.
yeah, I got to do that now. I got to find this with the key. On Eileen 2, it's actually taped to the bottom of the thing. On Eileen 1, I don't know what the fuck I did with the. I'm expecting us to have a blue screen of death. I've had 4 this morning, and so we'll see how it goes. And but good morning, oh hi, yeah, good morning, Bernice. And I'm gonna say I have to say that. But anyway, here let's show the lovely Laura live and good
Ah.
in my new double shot. Where's the goddamn double shot? There
Do
we
I get a
go.
lower third? Can we try the lower third?
She's so excited about her lower third.
I
She
know.
really wants to see the lower third. Although you're frozen. There you go. All
Yeah.
right, let's look at Laura. Here's Laura live and good. And now let's put on.
Good morning.
Nope, I can't do your lower third because it's not in here. Where the fuck did it go?
Oh, dang it.
Hang on, All right.
Yeah,
Uh,
memory.
Hey, everybody. I have no idea what you just saw, what you've seen. Uh,
No, they saw my picture.
this side
That was my 5 minutes of fame.
should be back. Oh wait, talk for me. Can
One, two,
people?
three. One, two,
Yeah.
three.
Okay. There we go.
Check,
You're
check.
right there. So there's one of the blue screens death I was talking about. Nothing I can do about that. Not right now. I don't know what's causing it. So gonna have to figure that out. And probably happen again. Like I said, I gotta wipe the machine, reboot everything. I've gone silent.
I'm asking if they can hear you.
Oh, they're back. Hey, still Laura live and good. Yeah, it should flop over.
Yeah, you should
I
see this. You should be seeing the card now.
we'll get into the awake, I guess. But there. Put the microphone near me. Now you can really hear me. How's that?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Sound level is low, metalhead. Sorry, this just throws me off. I have to contact the IT department, which will be me, so I can, get this done. So, and tomorrow we have a show which may or may not happen with Tatum, right? Truth Against the Machine. That's one of the reasons. Maybe your memory. I've been getting blue screens. Well, yeah, John. Very possible. I did order different memory. This machine's just been running almost 24/7 for 3 years, and it's tired. It's tired. And it hasn't had regular maintenance. It's had me. I'm not regular maintenance. Anyway, let's get back to the news, because really, if we can get through the show, we had a major victory. And it wasn't. I just want to point this out. We're going to listen to a lot of stuff. We're going to listen to Paul Ryan basically lick ass. We're going to listen to Bernie Sanders talk about the victory, and the important part on the victory of the fact that more than 30 Republicans said they would not vote to pass the repeal and replacement of the ACA, is that this was done by grassroots. Tom Perez and Keith Ellison really had jack shit to do with us stopping this from moving forward, and it was a beautiful thing. That's really the what shines in all of this, is that. It wasn't Schumer. It wasn't Nancy Pelosi. It wasn't. It was us. We made that happen. And the Republicans are saying this. They're like, yeah, we've got two different people offering me wads of money. Right? We had the Koch brothers offering wads of money because they want it worse. We had Paul Ryan offering money or taking away money because he wanted it to. And we had Trump threatening. And what happened was the GOP said, "Fuck you." Fuck you and your shitty bill. I have a whole bunch of angry people yelling at my office. Marco Rubio's like, I'm tired of moving around. Right? I mean, that's the beautiful thing, right? Yeah. And just an early fuck Marco Rubio. We've got to show you an article on that, because boy, did he really had a lot to do with making the ACA suck. Mm-hmm. And that needs to be told. Marco Rubio needs to be gone. Wash away with the tides. Make that happen. Joanne, I am. Obamacare is not a victory. 24 million people not losing their health care is a victory. Mm-hmm. You just got to frame it the right way.
Lesser of two evils is yes.
Yes.
I've got some skepticism about this so-called victory of ours, because I'm getting wary of anything that seems to be good, because it seems to be distracting us from things that are going on elsewhere. And I heard somewhere that some of the reasons people were against the new act is that it was too much like Obamacare, and they wanted it worse.
Right.
But I can't back that up with an article, but that's some buzz that I heard going around.
No, that's the truth. That's yeah. Which group were you saying wanted it worse?
I know that was chatter going on Twitter yesterday. It's like, don't get complacent. Don't celebrate too soon. This is we're being distracted from other things like Keystone Pipeline and internet privacy rights, other things that happened on this week while everybody was going on and on about how horrible this healthcare thing was. Right?
Well, I guess it doesn't. We had to put the effort towards the healthcare. You had to do that, or else it would have passed. So everybody who's like, "Oh, don't get distracted." No, we had to focus on that. That was a battle. We had to focus on that. Now we look at the other battles. Like it doesn't negate the effort. Right. That we put forth. You're absolutely right, though. And Scott Galindez wrote a piece for RSN that I was supposed to get published today. I think it was in proofing, so I don't know if he's released it. But Scott's in the hospital, as far as I know, so I don't know what happened with all that. But it's exactly that. There are two groups, and the freedom something or another people, which is a Koch brothers funded group, basically said we want this way worse. What do they want? They want all of the. So what they were really going for was to have insurance companies not have to cover anything, basically. No law that states they have to cover anything in particular. So an insurance company can offer a policy that says we won't cover jack shit, but you can afford that, poor person. Or we'll cover all of your things as long as you can pay up the ass, right? That's how they want it to be. Before the ACA, that's how it was. That's what the Affordable Care Act was. An insurance company could say, you're fat and you're old, fuck you, you're going to have to pay up the ass. And, oh, look at you, young millennial who's healthy and working, we're going to give you a good policy. Right? That's basically how insurance was. That's why nobody had fucking insurance in a country run by profit. There's a provision that the ACA put in that said, no, you have to offer basic services, basic coverage. If you're going to be a healthcare provider, you have to be able to provide basic coverage to a multitude of people. That would make you a healthcare company, right? Not a profit center based on people's illnesses. And that's basically what shifted. The Koch, so that provision was supposed to remain. They are fighting over pulling that out, and the Koch brothers are like, we want all those provisions out, gone.
Yeah.
And that's the so yes, we won a major battle. Because here's the major battle. The major battle wasn't about Obamacare, honestly. The battle was in showing that we could stop Trump. And we did that by grassroots action, by showing up at these stupid representatives' offices, letting them know we're pissed, asking Tom Cotton what kind of fucking health care he has. We scared them. They ran away from us. The pitchforks came out, not literally. The other literally, since both count these days, in the form of seriously, in the form of verbal pitchforks. That's right, Laura. I mean, come on.
Right. My sound is down. I'm waiting for you to take a breath to let you know that I need my sound turned up. They can't hear me very well.
Talk again.
Check 1 2 3.
Oh, you are quiet. Why are you quiet? Check again.
Check 1 2 3.
I don't know. Is that any
Laura,
better?
am I quiet? Is this better? I have to wait for the delay.
That should be better. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I turned the lovely Laura Live and Good up.
Okay.
Massively. She's been boosted by 10 dB in a British way. I don't know why.
No, I wanted to go to 11.
You want to go to 11? We can do that.
Yes.
There. All right. You're at 11. 11 it is. See? Easy. There you go.
Oh, and I need a production screen too, if that is possible.
Again?
Yeah.
See? Although I will say we haven't crashed.
No, because we don't have a production screen.
We haven't crashed, yeah. Love that one guy telling GOP how many people from their state will lose insurance. Yeah. Yeah. What am I seeing in the comments here? I got to scroll up. Does John inhale? I inhale constantly. Jesus. Right.
Deeply.
I would right now, except I'd cough all over the mic. It would be terrible. It'd be terrible. That's one comment. You'd have to tell me what I need to look at. Give me.
No, they're I've been waiting for some time to tell you about my sound, and I was just waiting for you to take a breath, and they were.
Will he just shut the fuck up? My God. Yes. That's.
Good morning, Nine Tails. Look, we have Nine Tails Cosmic Fox.
We're going to talk about we were going to talk about depression on Tuesday if we can actually run the thing, and we'll talk about things like not taking a breath, talking really goddamn fast. Hi Nine Tails. Glad you love the show. Right now, you're getting one of the worst examples of it in terms of how it flows.
Or the best, just depending on how you look at things.
I suppose.
Which is why I'm here. I balance you out, right?
Does all this crap make it more interesting? I suppose. Yeah.
It keeps it real, unless y'all know that we aren't pre-canned or scripted.
Well, there
in
you go.
Anyway.
It's another reason why this makes a better podcast. We'll just go there.
So
we're moving. So let's hear. So I got in too quickly. We gotta hear some of the fun stuff. If you haven't heard what Paul Ryan had to say, let's listen to what Paul Ryan had to say, because I found it inspirational to hear this person have to say these things. This is Paul being asked what's going to happen. Which everybody needs to feel good about this. It's a feel good moment here.
You all swept the House, one majority with the promise to bill of bonds. Majority in the Senate with the promise.
That's right.
The White House with the promise to repeal the bonds. How do you go home to your constituents and all of your members home to their constituents saying, you know what? It's not even 100 days into the administration. Sorry, folks, we just canceled your
Dana, it's a really good question. I wish I had a better answer for you. I really believe that Obamacare is a law that is collapsing. It's hurting families. It's not working. It was designed in a fundamentally flawed way. We believe this bill is the best way to go, but we just didn't quite get the consensus to get there. Yeah.
Two questions for you, if you don't mind. Number one, the bottom line is Obamacare right now remains the
That's
law
right.
of the land. Is that going to change in 2017?
Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than Obamacare is the law of the land. It's going to remain the law of the land until it's replaced. We did not have quite the votes to replace this law. And so, yeah, we're going to be living with Obamacare for the foreseeable future. I don't know how long it's going to take us to replace this law.
Well, more
my
than 7
worry
years,
is Obamacare is going to be getting even worse.
Oh, no.
Actually, I think we were probably doing the Democrats a favor. I think we were doing the architects of Obama a favor by passing this law before it gets even worse. Well, I guess that favor is not going to be given to them, and it's going to get worse. And so I don't think the architects of Obamacare, I'm sure they may be pleased right now, but when they see how bad this thing gets, based on all the projections we're being told by the plans that are participating in Obamacare, I don't think they're going to like that either. Look, 5 states, you got one plan left, one choice. Over a third of the counties in America, one plan left. And the kinds of projections we're being told from the people providing health insurance to these people in plans, it's going to get even worse. And so I don't think the architects of Obamacare envision this future. It's certainly not one we want for the American people. And I wish we had the kind of consensus we needed to bring a bill to the floor to pass and replace it. But we just don't have that right now.
Here's the big. So he's not wrong there. That is a problem with Obamacare right now. There's a reason why that happened, though. There's a reason why. There's a reason why 5 states only have one carrier, right? And it's expensive, and it doesn't work, and it's flawed. That would be the Republicans. Marco Rubio, in particular, and I wasn't aware of this. And I'm going to skip ahead. We're going to listen to what Bernie has to say about it in a second, but I want to skip ahead to the Salon article about Marco Rubio, because very interesting what he did. So part of this plan, apparently, first of all, insurance, you got to understand that this was all about protecting the massive profits that insurance companies make. And what they tried to do was provide universal health care, sort of, some kind of health care to Americans without tapping into the defense, without hurting anybody's profit centers. Let's make sure CEOs continue to make stupid amounts of money. Let's make sure that these insurance companies continue to gouge and just make billions. And let's make sure they don't get taxed or anything. Let's make sure they can just put all that in the Caymans and just keep it. That's how business runs the United States of America. If you're a big corporation, you don't pay taxes, and God help you if we do anything within the government that's for the people but hurts your profit center. The insurance company said, so what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And our government said, yes, Laura, what are you going to say? Before I get in?
I was agreeing with you.
And
Heaven forbid we should sacrifice any kind of profit.
Right. We can't do that. So what they were supposed to do, and this is stupid. I guess it makes sense. Instead of just passing some kind of legislation telling insurance companies you don't get to be greedy fucks, which is what we should do. We're looking at a frozen moment in a second, I think. Frozen moment. Not sure why. Oh, okay, it's gone away. CPU was mad for a second, everybody. Here's what Marco Rubio and team did. For some reason, the government said, we're going to subsidize the insurance industry. We're going to pay you to provide this coverage. We're going to give you money, billions and 2-point-something billions, trillions, a lot of fucking money, so that you will be willing to offer this coverage. We're going to subsidize it. Fine by me, honestly. I don't really care where the money comes from. It's our fucking money to begin with. We spend the majority of it on weapons of war, which don't do dick for any of us in terms of health care, right? So, I don't care where the money comes from. Federal government says we're going to put money, okay, whatever. I don't give a shit. Right? I just want health care for everybody. So, Marco Rubio then down the line does something in the House, Senate, working deals, and they don't give this money to the insurance companies. They only give them about $400 million. And Marco Rubio sells this as, look at what I did. I saved the American taxpayer a fuck ton of money. Instead of having to give it to the insurance companies, like we said we were going to, because they were offering these plans for the people. So here come the insurance companies. Wait a minute, guys. You were supposed to keep us rich and greedy assholes. And now we're not as rich and as greedy. And so, fuck you. We don't have to honor our side of the deal. We're all gangsters here, right? We're all men without morals. We're all greedy old white fucks. Except for Marco, who's a little shit-stained brown guy. Right? Spineless little fuck. But anyway. So that's...
Chat was just saying, why doesn't Melissa share the show with her customers? Because she watches while she's working. It's like, and then you just went into a whole tirade of fucks and shit bombs. So that's probably why.
That's probably why. Where is she at work? Where's she work?
She has a shop in Vermont. Bookstore.
That's very cool. That's very cool. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be very good. It's somebody like Tom Hartman, much more mellow, monotone, keep everything down. He's much better for that. Yeah, maybe too many F-bombs. New show is going to be called the F-bomb show. This is how remarkable this is. So now think about this. So we have the Affordable Health Care Act, and the government found a way to pay our money without changing anything around. They were supposed to do it, and then they reneged on their side of the deal, which is very typical for our government, right? We signed a treaty with Native Americans. Fuck that. We say we do this all the time. Right?
We're such assholes.
We are. We are absolutely the most asshole nation ever. Our federal, the people we need to replace, the people we have to repeal and replace, right? Paul Ryan being one of them. Right? So now they try to destroy all these provisions. They go to the healthcare companies and like, look, we're just going to take, you won't have to do any of this crap anymore. We're going back to the other way. We'll call this the new healthcare plan for everybody. You won't have to cover those 24 million people, and it'll go back to the way it was. And we're sorry that we didn't give you the money we were supposed to give you in the first place. All right? That's literally what they were trying, that in the correct sense of the word, literally, what they were trying to do. Right? And then another group of people said, fuck that. No, it needs to be far, far more worse. How dare you even try to give the Americans anything? Koch brothers said, no, it needs to be nothing. We need negative insurance. We need people that are healthy to just be shot on sight. Fuck that. Right? That's the kind of health care we want in America. Death care. Provided to you by the Koch brothers. If you're not rich enough to be alive, you shouldn't be alive.
Right.
Life is a privilege.
You got to pay.
Yes. If you're sick, you need to pay. And if you can't pay, you should die, because life is a privilege and natural selection. And I'm white. That's basically the fucking Koch brothers and their team of assholes. Right? So here comes Ryan. Well, we didn't quite have the votes. You were missing 30 plus votes. All of the Democrats and 30 plus Republicans said, fuck you. And they said, fuck you, because they're tired of getting phone calls from us. They're tired of having us show up at their door. They're tired of having us scream at them in town halls. And their attempts to make us sound like we're crazy or angry, the violent Dems, that didn't work. Somebody came back, at least enough press came back and said, that's called democracy, you fuckers. Welcome to your jobs as public servants. You serve. You are below me now. I pay you to do a job. I'm your fucking boss. Get on your knees, bitch.
Because Sutra wants you to be our White House correspondent. I think you'd be great.
If I could ever get clearance, I would absolutely do it. I would love to ask the fucking... I would rip Spicer and... Oh, man. I would ask him why he even exists. Like, were you built somewhere in a goddamn laboratory? You are not even close to human. Jesus.
The man in the gray sweater in the back.
Yeah. The cardigan. Angry man in the cardigan. That's right. He looks like Carter, but he sounds like an asshole. Yes, yeah.
You could be Christopher Eagle Scout for that. That would be
Christopher Eagle Scout reporting from the White House. Bullshit. I can't get past the bullshit. I don't know what to tell you. Yes. Anyway. So I just, it's beyond, and you heard Trump, right? Trump's response. So Paul Ryan ran to the White House, said, we got to drop the bill. We look like idiots. We look like fucking idiots. You're an idiot. We look like idiots.
He scurried to the White House.
Scurried like a little rat. Yeah, you're right. He scurried. scurried in there. We're not going to win. We got to have to pull it. Right? And Trump was like, I don't care. Whatever. Fuck it. Let's move on. We promised him we'd do this. Fuck it. What's next? I'm going to make a big deal. He's just, I don't even know what he's moving on to. Now he's going to make tax reform better. Let's see what that plan is. I can't wait.
He's got a tea time. That's what he's moving on to.
Yeah. We will push for Bernie Care. So so here's the thing. Single payer right now is the most popular idea for medical for all in the United States across parties. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter if you're a Trump supporter wearing a dumb fuck hat driving a tractor, or if you're a elite liberal sitting in goddamn Seattle thinking you're awesome. Both want single payer health care. And everybody in between. Mm-hmm. It's time. Except for Hillary. Hillary still thinks it's not possible. I just had to mention that. I saw that article recirculate. Hillary, single payer will never happen. Yeah, neither will you. Neither will you. You will never happen. Although I heard that, can I just...
Yes, you can.
I didn't mean to go off on Clinton, but this is just about the Clinton family and just the bullshit of our establishment. You've seen Chelsea Clinton in the news lately, haven't you, Laura? She's been
a little bit, yeah.
Okay, do you know why?
Rumblings of her, running for office at some point. She's being groomed in bed.
So yes, exactly. They're polishing the turd. They're going to make it ready for well, the only problem we have with you, dear, is your last name, but everything else should be fine. Right? She won. Tell me how you. What is she, like 30, 20 something, 30 something? She's a young kid. She's a kid.
Yeah.
Okay. She just got a lifetime achievement award.
Their game is long, John. Their game is long. They think in terms of 4-year increments well into the future.
What's a lifetime achievement award for a 30-year-old person?
Right.
She just got a fucking lifetime achievement award. It's one of those things she can hang on the wall so that when she goes into a place, she's like, well, I'm running for office because I got a lifetime achievement award at 30. I mean, what the fuck is that? And I don't care if she did anything legitimately. That's just like bullshit. That's a lot of fucking polish on a turd right there. Is to give somebody a lifetime achievement award at 30 or whatever the fuck she is. What happens
she's born in 1980, so she's 37 now.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I guess you can earn a lifetime achievement award at 37.
Yeah, well, especially if you manage to survive being a Clinton in this day and age.
Like, I guess, is that her lifetime achievement?
Well,
you have not become a psychopath, and you are a Clinton. Wow. At least not that we know of yet.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, I don't know, Metalhead. I don't know for what. You're not even old enough. You haven't lived a life even close. I mean, maybe you lived a lifetime for somebody born in the Middle Ages, or I don't even know what our death age is here in the United States. I know it's coming down fast, but
right.
Geez.
I was going to say it was higher.
Right. She's best friends with Ivanka. Is that it?
Well, yeah, that's another thing.
Oh, she won a lifetime The Channel Award. Thank you, Froze. That's beautiful.
That's a completely different.
My bad. Of course. I didn't realize she'd really spent a lot of time on that channel doing a lot of things. That makes absolute sense. Here,
okay.
You want to let's listen to what Bernie had to say. This is from Roseanne DeMoro. She's with National Nurses United. The sound is terrible, but it's Bernie Sanders on CNN. I just want you to hear what he has to say because he is saying exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying it because Bernie said it. Is that this wasn't Chuck Schumer or Nancy that did any of this. All right, this was us. You want to know how the Democratic Party takes fucking power? Us. We just did it. We told Trump and the Republicans to stuff it, to take their bullshit bill and stick it up their ass. And they went, Obamacare's law of the land. We're going to move on. After 7 years. That's power. We stopped them in their tracks. Here's Bernie on it.
It's not a health care bill. It was a $300 billion tax break for the top 2% and hundreds of billions more in tax breaks for the drug companies and the insurance companies. And what the American people said in town meeting after town meeting where they flooded those meetings, they told their Republican representatives, you know what? You're not going to triple my premiums just because I'm old. You're not going to throw me off of my Medicaid. And I think what you saw is a rising up of the American people And it was a very important day and a very important victory.
Yes, it was. And it didn't. I just want to point out there was no party. Okay, it wasn't a democratically organized George Soros sponsored group. It was whoever the fuck wanted healthcare, which included everybody. Right. Uniting Americans on the same issue. That's and we need to do that on climate change. We need to do it on all of the issues. We are, really. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, well, Bernie had his fight for healthcare rallies in January and February, and that really that woke a lot of people up. Just the headlines of the last couple of weeks have been waking people up in a really frightening way.
Yes. Yes. Meanwhile,
Meanwhile, I'm still.
I'm cutting back to my slides. I go back to my slides, which I messed up here. Here. Meanwhile, on the slides. So we covered Bernie says we're awake, which we are. This wouldn't have happened. Had this been a couple of years ago before Bernie, they just would have fucked our healthcare and we would have grumbled about it and pundits would have said shit about it and it would have moved on. Like, whatever. Not anymore. Not today. Obamacare is the law of the land. Bernie says we're awake. Another reason to hate Marco, if you didn't already. Right? This is us. We're moving. We're still in top stories. Which is that's not good, but here, this is us. I just while we're talking about healthcare and everything, there's a really large picture of it here. We're murdering people around the world. Like what things we're not talking about is that Trump opened the doors on military activities. There's no moral compass there. So it's like just go blow people up. I don't give a fuck. And so we're blowing a lot of people up. A lot of civilians. We've been blowing people up, but now we're like really blowing people up. Target a mosque, target a school. And at the same time, the ACLU and the UN and all these other groups, human rights groups, civil rights groups, are screaming at us. Stop selling your weapons. Stop sending your weapons. Stop claiming your freedom. Stop claiming you're helping democracy. Stop whatever the fuck. Stop. Did you know, in the late 1800s, in China, there's a massive opium problem. Huge. And it was because of the British government. The Dutch East Indies Company was a massive British enterprise, and they were making fucking tons of money by shipping opium to China. And the Chinese government literally came over to the UK and said, please stop selling your fucking drugs in our country. The rest of the world is saying to the US, please stop selling your fucking weapons and your war to everyone. We are the merchants of fucking death. If you want a reason to overtake your fucking government by any means necessary, it's to stop us from being the merchants of death and proclaiming it's all done for the good of the world and freedom. That hypocrisy, that fucking lie hurts me so much, enrages me so much that the suits and ties, the greedy old white men will murder indiscriminately. Whether it's wildlife, human life, they don't give a fuck. And justify it by whatever means necessary. We're doing that right now. It's horrific. It's enough to make you not even want to get out of bed. Just kill me now. How can we be this disgusting? These words that I say, these are the words that I want to say directly to my representatives. How can you vote for something this disgusting? How can you be this disgusting? And I'm waiting to hear people say this. I'm waiting to hear people confront our representatives about our military-industrial complex. When is that going to get cut down to size? The penis extension is too big for the pants. Fuck. Sorry. I had to end with a dick joke because I was getting way too serious. I do.
Oh, gosh.
And it's black comedy, and I'm not talking about dick size. I'm just saying it's black comedy because we're talking about death. That's, yeah, I don't know. 1,000 U.S. bases globally. Exactly, Phil. We're just a massive, like, and we're not even like the Klingon Empire, if I was going to relate it to something. Because the Klingon Empire at least had honor. We have no honor. We have no honor.
We have no honor.
Where's Worf when I need him? God damn it.
Right.
Where are the Klingons?
We could get a few Klingons in the revolution.
Yes, we could. Yes, we could. All right. I'm moving on. We're going to talk about something good.
Oh, good.
It's remarkably ironic. It is ironic. This is a proper use of the word ironic, which doesn't happen often, literally. Here's Colorado Appeals Court says, first of all, just read this headline. The fact that this has to even be a fucking headline tells you there's a big goddamn problem with our world. Colorado Appeals Court says state must protect health and environment before allowing oil and gas drilling. You had to have a fucking court tell you this? When your representative, if your representatives were doing your job, this would never have gone to court.
Yeah.
Their job is to protect you, to serve you, not the oil and gas industry. But this had to go to an appeals court. This actually went through 3 or 4 levels of fucking court. And it's the kids, again, it's kids that are pushing this lawsuit. The kids and their lawsuit and the lawyers are the only thing making headway in this fucking nation against climate change, really. Against the legislation that allows the oil and gas industry to do whatever the fuck they want, to shit and piss anywhere they want. This is beautiful. The court sided with a Boulder teen, whose name I won't pronounce, and said that the protection of the public health and environment is a condition that must be fulfilled. Really?
Okay, that sounds really good, but what does that look like? What does that translate into?
Well,
in
it's
action?
I don't know. I just thought the headline was ridiculous. What does it translate
Well,
into?
yeah. No, totally. I mean, I wish it meant something, but I'm getting just very cynical about anything. Yeah, it must, but will it? Just because it must doesn't mean it will.
Well, right, and so what it means is that this provision, the way that so I remember I actually read the article. I can tell you some details. This isn't just a gist. I just thought the title was really the most important part. Is like we shouldn't even have those titles.
Yeah, that's a no duh.
Yeah, it's kind of a when we have people before profit, that will not be a headline anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So here's the way the wording was written in the current law was interpreted by another set of corrupt judges as being, well, all that really means is we have to say, yep, it's going in the environment. That there was no provision to protect this. Well, you want to drill over there? There's an environment over there. Be careful. That's basically all that's it. Oil and gas industry didn't have to check with anybody. They really didn't have to. They're just like, hey, by the way, we're going to put a drill. We're going to drill for oil over there. Fuck you. And Colorado was like, okay. And that's basically so this ties into what happened in Longmont, where Longmont said, we're not allowing fracking, fuck you, oil and gas industry. And the bill that says oil and gas industry gets to do what they please was referred to. And the judge said, fuck you, statewide. We're going to let them drill wherever the fuck they want. This appeals court, in a separate case, said, oh, yeah, and now we're going to have to actually interpret that, the wording in that legislation to mean protecting the environment. Thinking of looking at and protecting the environment and people first. You want to drill there? Let's see what it'll actually impact. Which should be a no fucking brainer in the first place.
Like an environmental impact report required, right?
Right. Something like the EPA would do.
The EPA that may be going away.
It's worthless anyway. It is worthless. No offense to the good people that work in the EPA. You really haven't done much understanding you're working with a wholly corrupt government. But you're not protecting much, really. You kind of got lax on the protection while you took money in and lied. You lied about climate. EPA's been lying about climate change, denying it. They've been denying it. It's like, the EPA is such a fucked up organization. So yeah, not a lot of respect for those guys right now, guys and gals. But you know, just saying. Somehow the legal process in this nation is working for us against the government, which I never thought I would say. It's really, really amazing. Okay, turned up the volume on a fuck, John in mid-range.
Ooh, we get Nine Tails officially awards our stream 10 woke as fucks.
Nice, thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. I didn't know that was a thing. That's good.
Where's the woke as fuck scale? I want to. That's great. What?
It's like karma. We're just accumulating it.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I don't even. How many people? How many people do we actually have
57.
watching right now?
57.
50. There are 50. Holy shit! Wow, that's wonderful. All right. I got more. That's good news though. That's a victory. That's another victory.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on.
Yes, I like that. More good news. Do you have any more good news?
I do. Well, I do. I do have more good. The flies still in here, by the way. Flies are back. They shouldn't even be here. The flies are back.
Oh, it's been a while since they've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that from last summer.
Flies are back. Yes. Benjamin Dixon, really smart guy, good talk show guy. Just another independent media. You know, he's got a pretty big audience. He posted this this little clip. And this is important. This is about intersectionality, which is something I had to look up, so I make sure I had the right definition of. All right. You know what that is, Laura? Live and good? Intersectionality?
Oh, God, that was one of those things that they had. Who's that gal we had on a couple of weeks ago?
Yes, who talked about this with
Yeah.
Surge? With Surge,
Yeah,
one
it just
to
talks
one.
about the overlaps within different cohort groups. You know, you can be a woman and poor or black and sick or whatever. There's lots of people don't fit easily into one bucket. So you've got to take into account where people overlap and have double interest or don't overlap and need to be educated. Right.
And intersectionality can also lead to disadvantages and advantages and point out these things. And that's what Benjamin Dixon is talking about. You're absolutely, so this is an intersection of, well, here, I'll just show you the tweet. This is where basically a person in power and facing these intersectional stresses makes decisions based on those intersectional stresses. I mean, she's a black woman, Democratic mayor of Baltimore, and she vetoed a bill to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. And she basically spews a bunch of bullshit here. But Benjamin Dixon calls it on the mark. This is intersectional neoliberalism at work. No, he doesn't say anything in here. I just want you to listen to what she has to say, and then we're going to look at the little tweet exchange underneath. That's the more. It's interesting here.
Deliberated over the last few days as to what to do about the increase in the minimum wage. I talked to
listen to
ministers,
this redirect.
I talked to nonprofit helping organizations in the city. When you think about, for example, the 76,000 people who are unemployed in our city that we need to get working, and many of you know that we have 10,000 returning citizens every single year in coming back to our city, and then the 3,000 people who are homeless in our city. It is important as the chief executive officer of this city that I take in consideration all of the needs of all of the people of Baltimore.
Blah, blah, blah,
I don't think
blah.
there's anybody that wants more to see the minimum wage increase than I do. So for those reasons and the economic impact that I think that this has on the city, making us the hole in the donut, it is not appropriate at this time that I would sign this bill. So I am vetoing this bill.
Yeah, I know there was some context edited out there, whatever her hole in the donut theory is on that.
Yeah.
What I heard was there's a lot of people without jobs, a lot of homeless people, a lot of poor people, a lot of people coming back to this town, and I don't feel like any of them should be making $15 an hour.
But there's no one that wants it more than I do.
Right. There's no one that wants it more than I do. And I talked to a lot of people about it. I sure did. And the people that I talked to about it who said they would give me a lot of money to not pass it, that's who I listened to.
Yeah.
She is
Boy, that was political speak right there.
Oh, yeah.
At its worst.
My God. It was bullshit, 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 bullshit. I care, bullshit, bullshit. I care, minimum wage, bullshit, veto. It was just utter garbage. And that woman is going to lose her job. If we do our job, that woman needs to lose her job because she's basically said, I'm an establishment tool. I'm voting based on my pocketbook and based on thinking I'm going to keep my job as an establishment tool this way. And I hope that you guys don't prove me wrong. She just challenged us all. So Baltimore, get out there and tell this woman that she just fucked up big time. Just saying. But she does not react. I would say donut hole, but another hole. Very nice. Baltimore finally okayed $15 an hour by 2022. What are you saying? Am I missing something? No, it's just are they? Yeah, I mean, can they override her veto? I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know. Is that a state thing? Can they do that? I need like a Chad or a Charles in here to tell me that.
Yeah. Dang.
That'd be great if that can happen. That would be fantastic. And maybe I don't know. All right, moving on. Where are we at here? Hey, and the system hasn't shut down. We're still running.
We're doing good.
I'm impressed.
See, because you didn't try for still trying to do my lower third is what did it.
Well, no, yeah, it could be. The problem with the lower third is I don't have your name loaded in. Oh, that's making noise. Shut up there. That's New Zealand. That's what you're hearing there. We're moving into the next story. Did it?
It does.
We're moving on to stories. I didn't know that was going to start. I can't stand that. Look, never make an autoplay video. No one wants autoplay video.
Yeah.
Maybe they do it to stop me. Like, here, ready to move on? This is a good story. Bernie just said he plans on spending his spring break traveling the country, going to red states. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so look at this. There's some interesting things about this. Not just the fact that New Zealand is on it with protesting the fossil fuel industry, which is what they did here. This is a bunch of New Zealanders, more than 200 of them, blocked the entrance to this petroleum conference. A great direct action. They weren't violent. And what I want you to see in this video isn't just the fact that, good show on New Zealand, congratulations, you're glad to see you're woke and you're out there and you're doing this. Take a look at their cops. I just want you to watch their cops and see how their cops are. It's very different. Do you see the difference? Did you see what I see? There were no guns.
Surprising lack of military paraphernalia.
Yeah. Not just that, Laura. It was like a whole nother world. Mm-hmm. Like there were no guns, no batons, no handcuffs, no shields, no helmets, no LRAD devices.
No mace.
No
mace.
Pepper spray. No pepper spray. I didn't see anyone in Kevlar. Mm-hmm. I didn't, and even if you watch the way they were handling the people, they were just
hugging them around.
They were hugging. They were like part of the group. Like, all right, everybody, just stay together. There was one guy was just using his arms to keep two people apart, right? Yeah. There was no violent rage action out of the cops.
Those are peacemakers. Those are peacemakers.
That's it. I mean, just what a different experience. And they looked like, security at a concert with their little yellow vests on.
Yeah,
They,
exactly.
they were
Bouncers.
de-escalating in presence, which was important. In other words, they'd been trained with some fucking brains. They'd been trained not to shoot first and then figure out how to lie about it later. They'd been trained to actually be public servants and serve and protect, which is their fucking job. All it takes is training. It's possible. We can take our cops and remove all of the armor that we've provided, all of the weapons that we provided them to be assholes, and retrain them to be public servants. I was just so amazed. I'm like, wow, I wish I could protest fossil fuel industry in another place. Here, I'm going to get brutalized, probably put in jail. And listen, that's not a big deal because in other countries like South America, they just get shot. There have been a lot of environmental activists who have been murdered lately in South America, Central and South America, fighting for their rights, fighting for their land, which is getting way more fucked up. You think we have no protections? They have zero protection. Their land just gets shit on constantly. Anyway, it's sad when you see that. Like, wow, yeah, that's what a cop used to look like. That's what a cop used to be. Somebody I could think was my friend. Not some dick face I was going to have to worry about getting shot by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone you would run toward in trouble, not away from.
Right. That's exactly the change. That's exactly the change. Ninetail says, I swear you saw some punches thrown. Right, but I didn't see anything evolve into, if there were punches thrown, then it was kept relatively calm. If somebody had thrown a punch anywhere, cops in the U.S. would have been macing and handcuffing and beating. That's how our cops take care of situations. Beat the fuck out of it, see if it lives, and then prosecute it. Moving on. This isn't good news. Sorry, everybody. It's just some truth. Climate-wise, North Dakota oil spill 3 times larger than first estimated because, well, actually, they're not even required to report the spills anymore, and they're not required to come up with any estimates, and we cut the whole funding for even finding out where leaks are, so I don't even know how we know this information.
If it says 3 times, it's probably 10 times.
Right. Approximately 530,000 gallons of oil is now believed to have spilled from the Bell Forge pipeline that was likely ruptured by a slumping hillside about 16 miles northwest of, where is this? Billings. That's great. That's really great.
Billings is in Montana.
Yep.
Oh, but that's affected North Dakota. I get it. They're connected.
It was calm. Our military and police force, unfortunately today, are trained killers. They are. They're just a bunch of men who want to play army.
Well, we've got military bases on 1,000 places all over the world. That's a lot of people to keep occupied as military, and then when they come home, they become cops, and that's how they're trained.
Yep.
We've got a big surplus, and that's a big generalization. I'm not saying that all cops are ex-military.
No.
I'm certain that there's probably a good percentage of them. That's certainly where the training has come from. These phalanxes behind shields and riot gear and guns and Uzis and whatever they've got. Pretty scary.
Yep. It's exactly right.
They get the hand-me-downs from the military-industrial complex.
Obama was supposed to stop that, and I think they changed that again. I think he was the one who started it. And maybe it was a Bush era thing. I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's kind of ridiculous, though.
Let's blame Cheney. I think Cheney probably had a lot to do with
probably.
Our military.
Susan Rice was pathetic, yes. War is a racket. All right, so just real quick. We're starting up another show called Chad Talks With, and the reason, actually it's a show we ran before, but Chad Lupkes, who knows a lot about politics and such, and is involved with government up there in Washington, has said he's ready to come back and do a 30-minute interview show talking with candidates and other people. Lauren Livengood is helping with the booking, and hopefully will help with the show. We're going to run that in the evenings. It's going to be Wednesday. It's at 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah, 7:30 to 8.
There we
Pacific.
go. Thank you. So,
Works for me.
7:38. Yeah. We're going to be creating new graphics and things, or little elements for the show, and getting that running. That should be exciting.
Is this going to be every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday. We're already lining up bookings right now, and be the same kind of a revised version, maybe a combination of We the People and Chad Talks With, slammed into like a 30-minute interview. The goal is to get as many people on as we can that are running for office or have something to say about politics. Laura Livengood is already thinking of people like Dan Roll and Arn Marconi, and I haven't really heard these guys talk in a while, so I don't know what they're after these days, what they're doing. So, if you guys have any suggestions, other people, I'd love
We're
to
just
talk to them.
expanding our states. That gives us Nevada and Colorado, and Steve Stokes from California too is another one. He ran for Congress or Senate and didn't win, but he's been keeping his eye on what's been going on since, and he's a Bernie-crat in Los Angeles.
There you go.
So we're going state by state. So hey, if you guys know of people that would come on and talk to Chad in your state, let us know.
There you are. Wonderful.
We'll get in
Thank
contact with them.
And if you can help us, patreon.com/uphill media. That would be for Ashley to help us get some graphics done and some other things that we need for these shows. Moving on into, and hopefully we'll run the Tatum show tomorrow and the system won't explode and it'll all be good.
Yeah, if you guys didn't catch it last Sunday, it went really well. We've got two hosts, Grace Ann and Ruel, and they are 23 and 25 with all kinds of energy, and they do similar to what we do. They're just the millennial version, but they choose their own stories and report on it. And Jordan Cheriton was on the show last week. I really had a fangirl moment when he came into chat. I was very cool, but it was like, wow, Jordan Cheriton is here in the hangout. That was nice. So it's got good pedigree, and they did a great job for a first one. So please join us.
Exactly. Tomorrow. And it just restarted. We just crashed and restarted. No apparent reason. Hi, everybody. Gosh, I can't wait to rebuild the system. I was telling Laura Livengood, this is like the things I have to do. If you guys see what I have to do in the morning to get this shit to work, like literally unplugging and plugging back in USB devices to get them to reconnect and shit. Mm-hmm. And then I said it's
entertaining to watch.
It's like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and then I realized that's an insult to Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which functioned just fine, just looked rickety, right? This looks great, functions rickety. That's the difference. All right, moving on. If you're wondering when you can start getting your solar roof tiles that are supposed to cost the cost of a regular roof. And Tesla even said less than, which is ridiculous. All right. And maybe the tiles themselves are going to be less than, but you got to have to get the batteries and all that shit. And so I'm expecting to pay more than that. But one of the reasons I didn't go with Velocity Solar, even though they were a great company offering a lot, is I wanted these. And so I hit up Crystal Hosmer, who has a new job doing something, and I got to find out what that is, because she's apparently getting to travel and go places, and I don't know who for. But Crystal said, take a look at this. Tesla started taking orders for solar roof tiles in April. And before that, she had thought it was going to be the end of the summer. So this is already way ahead of schedule. So I think I'm going to be looking at some solar roof tiles. I'm going to get into that, see what we do. Maybe Crystal can help me there. But that's pretty badass, guys. And if you need your roof replaced, there's a way to go. Solar City, which I put the link. The link is always in the description. It's Get Solar City. It's like solarcity.com/for the99. But that link is in there. Crystal works across the United States, and all you have to do is fill it out and see if they can help you. Oftentimes they can't because of laws and other bullshit, because of what's going on in states, right, where they're not promoting renewables, or they've got blocks against things. But it's worth your time. Fill it out. Find out what's going on there. Excited about that. And this is not good. I tell you, community gardening is really how we're going to stay healthy, folks. The USDA is now dropping plan to test Monsanto weed killer in food. If you have glyphosate in your food, not interested in telling you. We know it's everywhere. We know they use it in everything, because we know most of our food produced in the United States is GMO, and most of that's using glyphosates for pesticides. And the USDA basically, because we have the Trump administration, is like, fuck it. Yeah, I got to test for that shit.
Well, probably because they're finding it in everything.
Well, it's in everything. And they're finding it in everything. They're still going to test the bees and the honey, apparently, which they always do, and they always find massive amounts of glyphosates and neonicotinoids. But their budget was cut because, we had to slice the USDA to make some more money for the defense budget. And I mean that. That's what happened. So they don't really have the money, apparently, to do the testing, and nobody wants them to do it anyway because corruption. So that sucks. Yeah, Hatch chilies are GMO'd?
That's terrible.
That sucks. I love my Hatch chilies.
Phil, where'd you hear that?
Doesn't surprise me.
Chilies are a work of God, and they must be protected.
All right, but we're moving on to hypocrisy moments. More hypocrisy. This pisses me off more than anything right here. The DEA approves synthetic marijuana for big pharma company against legalization. This really did happen. And their bullshit synthetic marijuana they're requesting a Schedule 2 status, and real cannabis will remain Schedule 1. That's fucking insane.
Bullshit.
Yes. And the reasoning on here is just so disgusting. I'm not even going to find the right quote on here. Here it is. Listen to this. A long-standing policy of the United States to disfavor domestic cultivation of narcotic raw materials because of concerns about abuse potential from farming of this material. We have enough pot farms across the United States right now. Where's all that potential? It's bullshit. That's just total control of product. That's profit first.
Exactly.
That has nothing to do with worried about the effects of the drug. It's what can the pharmaceutical company do to create a patent on marijuana so that they can control money. And my act of defiance against that is I am growing a vast library of seeds and clones and weeds, and I will be far beyond the legal limit, although I'm going to get a license to be able to grow as much as I goddamn please. But I'm going to grow it, and I don't know, I'm thinking maybe I'll create strains and name them after dickhead politicians that have been weed.
Back.
And there, we're getting that was nice. Max Headroom moment, everybody. Max Headroom moment. So we know the government has grown shitty weed, and now pharmaceuticals have created even shittier weed. They synthesize something that works perfect. No need to make another version of it. It's fine as it is. Right? That's how insanely fucked our government is. To put profit above nature. And I want to just read this to you because I was looking up cannabis and depression because it's one of the things that I deal with. All right. In the 70s, at 1972, they said your child is a hyperactive child and will suffer from dramatic mood swings. That's called bipolar disorder. But they didn't know that in 72. They just said, here's some Ritalin. Have him suck on it and see what happens. I became a drooling vegetable. Mom took me off the Ritalin and said I'd rather have him be psychotic. Right.
Than a drooling vegetable.
Right, basically. Right. And she did a lot of things back in the 70s, like a no-sugar diet or a very low-sugar diet, which was helping to control my swings because sugar and, what we know now about bodies. So she was way ahead of the curve back then, thank God, because my mom was a nurse. But they've been talking about cannabis. The reason I'm talking about this right now is cannabis and depression has quite a history. It's just that we in the United States of ignorance have been told a very, very different story. And this just, how does cannabis help depression? Cannabis has been used to treat depression throughout history. In 1621, English clergyman Robert Burton recommended its use in his book, The Anatomy of Melancholy. I just want to stop there. This is a dude in 1651 who's wrote a book about depression called, where is it? The Anatomy of Melancholy. That's so, think about 1651. Think about what people were doing and wearing in 1651. Pantaloons.
That's our first album.
Right. There you go. Cod pieces were probably, maybe there's a little bit after cod. Think about this. People was you had reasons to be depressed, right? The Catholic Church was they're in the age of enlightenment at that point, the Renaissance. Anyway, so cannabis He said, while doctors in India during the same period were actively using it to treat their patients' depression. Doctors in India in 1651. All right. Cannabis is a faster working alternative to antidepressants that stimulates the endocannabinoid system and speeds up the growth and development of nervous tissue with little to no troublesome side effects. This natural remedy offers patients peace of mind and battles stress by enhancing mood, providing energy and focus, relieving anxiety, inducing hunger, and combating insomnia. You know, one of the things that's not a part of this that you see as a part of all the other like drugs, there's no addiction, and you're not prone to suicide, which, believe me, there are actual antidepressant drugs that cause that exact effect. And you don't need an add-on drug, right? If your antidepressant isn't working, here's an antidepressant for your antidepressant. It's depressed.
Right. And here's an anti-anxiety med in case your antidepressant makes you a little anxious.
Right.
Because that can be a side effect. It's, yeah. I've
Right.
used cannabis to fight low-grade depression for years. And
Right.
that is, yeah.
There you go. There you go. Egyptian mummies chemically show cannabis, cocaine, and other opiates. Doesn't surprise me.
Wrapped in their tissues. Nice. We'll
And
take
these-
it with you.
My God, these people didn't have television. They didn't have games. What are they going to do? Like, hey, we got plants, we got animals, we got fun, right? I guarantee you they knew how to make an electric battery, a hydroelectric battery with the pyramids. It's exactly what they were doing. Anyway, we're going to talk more about depression tomorrow because it turns out that THC and CBD, which are the two prominent cannabinoids, are only two of the many cannabinoids inside the cannabis plant. And there's other ones that deal specifically with depression and nausea and stuff. And they're now breeding strains that highlight those. And this is important because CBD, which is primarily the healing, the pain relief aspect, right? THC is the fun. CBD is actual pain relief and epilepsy relief, right? That's the part that keeps my epilepsy in check. It used to be you could only get strains that had like 1% or 2% CBD max, and at that you're dealing with all the, you know, there's no THC or low THC. I've got a strain right here called Blue Thunder, and it's 7.67 or more than 7% of both THC and CBD, and it makes my right arm feel awesome. I can type. And they've got other strains that are even higher, 20% CBD. That's awesome. Why do we
I
need
want to talk to you. I've got a friend whose daughter, a high school age daughter, was just diagnosed with epilepsy, and the medication that they want to put her on, begins with an L. I can't remember what it was. She doesn't want to do that, and she's getting frustrated working with her physicians, talking about doing CBD or some sort of cannabis therapy, but she's persisting.
Good. She should. Where is she? California?
Yeah, local.
It's legal. She tell her physician
Yeah.
to go fuck off. Anyway, that's fun. Okay, we got two. We're almost done. We're at 11:46. My God, we're early. Jeez.
Yay!
How's the crowd? How is everybody out there?
They're good. 52 watching, talking about seeds and growing from seeds and different seeds that they have known and mummies that are pre-rolled.
I'm reading I'm reading the comments too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will be creating. Well, I'm in the process of. I haven't even gotten. So here's the thing. We'll talk about that real quick because we have a little more time. Cannabis is so amazing. I'm learning so much. I haven't been able to finish the harvest that's in there. There's one plant left. It's my OG Kush, and it's a very late. Like it just takes a lot longer. This is why I'm installing the direct root grow system and converting everything so that I can process this stuff much faster because I can't wait half a year for one crop to grow, right? But had I pulled this OG Kush a month ago when I pulled all the other stuff, it was not ready. It just wasn't ready. And what it's transformed into since then is amazing. I'll have to go in there and show you, but it's just an amazing plant. And if you squeeze the buds or rub your fingers on the buds on the outside, it smells like Italian spaghetti sauce. Like the most rich, hearty herbs and spices you've ever smelled. You just want to eat like, wow,
Oregano.
what is that? Yeah, it really does. And it's crazy. If you rub your fingers on the stem, and was it you who was telling me this? Laura, was it you who was telling me this a while back about people that rub their fingers on the stem of the plant and that's how they get that's what they do with it for medicine or something? Somebody was telling me about that.
No, I haven't heard of that.
Like a different culture that does marijuana totally differently. They
Topically?
they rub their fingers on the outside of the stem and then they take that and rub it into little balls and do something with it, and that's how they get their medicine. Yeah, it's really weird. The outside of the stalk, rub your fingers on the stalk, it smells like lemon. It smells like citrus. So you've got this citrus smell on the stalk. You've got this hearty Italian sauce smell on the buds. It's just the phenotypes.
What variety is this?
This is a OG Kush, but
Okay.
OG Kush, which is with the lineage is a little mysterious. People don't really know for sure. Most people think it's Chem Dog, which is a very which I actually have. I'm growing Chem Dog. They think that's the original lineage, but that Chem Dog they think came out of a seed bag in the 90s. So nobody really knows the lineage. And Kush, the original like Indian Kush, Hindu Kush. So those two slammed together is what they think made OG Kush, and OG Kush is the backbone of California weed. All right, like most of your strains in the fluffy come from the OG Kush strain lineage. And anyway, it's just an amazing plant. All this information, Laura, where I get all this stuff, it's either Grow Weed Easy, which is growweedeasy.com, or Leafly. Leafly just has phenomenal articles, and you can look up all strain lineage, and that's what I'm doing right now is looking at it. And this article lists a whole bunch of different strains that are for epilepsy, for the different things that are like really high end or high CBD or high whatever you need. So anyway, I just have fun. I love learning about this stuff. I want to tell you about that. It's and we have it. Did I tell you guys the new strain? What did I do with it? We have a new one called Rainbow, and I got it. It's an indica dominant, but I got it because it's supposed to smell and taste like Starburst. I thought, why not?
Which flavor?
I'm going Rainbow. I don't know. Just smell like the candy. I don't know what flavor. That's a good question.
Well, Starburst has got many flavors.
Right. That's so but on the smells, the phenotypes have a lot to do with it. OG Kush has many different phenotypes across its strain variety, which means many different smells. So, and those smells have a lot to do with how you react to cannabis because they are so intertwined. Right? Mm-hmm. And it's very interesting. It's and like different people have different levels to it too. Like Lori, to her, none of it smells good. It all smells like crap. I mean, she doesn't smoke pot. Right. Anyway. Just had to go off on that. Who's it? 25,000 square foot greenhouse is yielding $7 million per year. Whose is this? Taste the rainbow, nice bros. What are you saying about Chem Dog? Bernice, Chem Dog is huge here in Michigan. I'm so jelly, would love a seed or two. As soon as it was my last Chem Dog seed. It's more than 2 years old. And I will do clones and make seeds, and I will definitely send you a Chem Dog. I'm not selling any of this shit. I don't sell weed. I just want to make that clear. So yeah, awesome. Hash is made in this other country. I want to say India. They gather all the sticky. Hash is made everywhere. Mm-hmm. I can get hash in my store. It depends on what kind of hash you're talking about. There's different types of hash. Right? There's hash where it's cannabis dipped in opium, and that's like some serious ass hash. There's scissor hash, which I can make scissor hash. That's when you cut enough weed, the scissors blades gets all sticky and everything. You can buy scissor hash in a ball in the dispensary, and that's all it is. They're cutting weed and then they're scraping that off with a razor blade into a thing, rolling it into a ball, and then selling it to you. It's pure THC. It's all hairs and stickiness.
Nice.
It's great. You cut off a little sliver, you drop it on top of a bud. It's a little add-on. It's an add-on. There's that Abilify. There's that. So, I'm wrong. Pot does have an add-on, but it's more just for fun.
Bev has a question about making hash, although I don't think we've got 7 minutes left and other things to talk about, so maybe we could do that on another show.
Well, let me ask you this. I'm glad you brought up that for a question. One of the things I want to do just for fun Has nothing to do. Well, I guess it's informing the electorate, but it's informing the electorate about weed. And it's not. You could get all this information from other places, right? I'm not an expert at growing weed. I'm just a hobbyist who really enjoys it and has the time, right? But I was thinking of making some videos or doing something along the lines of growing weed with Johnny Apple weed seed,
Johnny Weed Seed.
right? Right. That's
Yeah.
Johnny Weed seed. And,
You
and
got, I think you grabbed the URL for that, right? JohnnyWeedSeed.org.
I did. I could put up a website. I mean,
it.
you know, I don't have a career as a political pundit. That's for fuck sure. Because I'll never stop saying fuck. But I could do weed videos. Would you guys want to do that, or we could do a weed show?
We could do a special series. That'd be good.
Here, Laura. The reason I'm saying this is because you and I have been talking about doing a fun show, and I'm trying to figure out how to tie that into. You know, we're talking the music thing, and Ashley wants to do something with like blending the music in as a DJ with what we're saying, and I don't know. So I'm just tossing around ideas here,
Yeah.
figuring out what we do.
Especially when we get our equipment up and running.
Yes, when we're done having problems, that would be nice. Bernice, John, I had the CBD strain that made me nauseous when I smelled it, and it was like gas or chemical smell. Yeah, and a lot of the Gorilla Glue or the diesels have that smell. It literally has a diesel smell. It's noxious. Snow fruit, which is this weird strain that I have, smells so bad. I get sick when I'm cutting it. The fresh plant is just bleh. And then it cures, and it goes through the stage where it's sweet, and then it leaves the sweet, and it ends up with this kind of earthy, smoky taste. It's very interesting, very different. Weed's so cool. You know, it's really, really sad in this country that we've spent so much time criminalizing it and demonizing it. We should have been learning about it. You know, Egypt, what did they spend? $50 million on cancer research, on weed research. You know, the Netherlands did a 2006 study with cannabis where they proved definitively that it helps with depression and anxiety and other issues. Right. But the Netherlands, what do they know? Fucking socialists. They were just voted the #1 happiest country in the world.
Right.
Maybe it's because they're all smoking weed.
Yeah.
You know.
There you go.
They probably have the lowest. Well, we know they have the lowest testosterone factor because they're all smoking weed.
Right.
And
So no overpopulation.
Right.
And aggression.
Well, it's not like overpopulation. Right. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. They think about it. It's like, well, we have 2 kids. Right. No, just kidding. But true. They're the happiest. They were just voted happiest nation on earth. Weed's legal there. When Marcus needs to go get weed legally, he drives to Netherlands or takes the tube or whatever the fuck they got the nice things they got over there. Right. White Widow is wonderful. That was one of the first weeds that I grew. What do they say? What are you guys saying? Looking at this.
Talking about different growing situations.
I see this. Strains now for losing weight? Really?
Ooh. Sign me up for that.
What are we talking about? No chemicals put in freezer, Jelly Love. Nine Tails also have shark's breath. Ooh. Which has a pine essence. You guys are talking about... I love talking about strains. I love that. Oh, Nine Tails. Okay, so you're talking about hash. So what you want to do, the cleanest way to do hash these days is to use alcohol and water. That's what you do. You get like 93% isopropyl. You can get like high-end alcohol. You can use Everclear. You can use like a really clean vodka. There's actually videos, and there's a it's a little expensive these days, but there's a nice little machine that does it all for you. They're trying to sell for like $600. I'm waiting for that price to come down. But so the nasty way of making hash, we're not talking about hash really. We're talking about concentrate, and concentrate really is where you're headed here. And you know, hash is like an in between status now. It's kind of like the wax, but we're talking a concentrate where what you're looking for in terms of medium of breaking down the cell wall, and where I'm waiting for the CPU to die again. It's doing its thing.
All right, hold
Don't
your
know
breath.
why. Yeah, hold my breath. Oh, I look like Mitch. I don't know what happened.
That's not going to help
I'm
the
sorry.
CPU. Don't.
No, it did. And when it saw me, it was like, oh my God, what's happening? No. Oh, it says we're having problems there. Anyway, we should be back. And I totally butane hash oil is what you're thinking of, BHO. And that's the old method. And you use liquid butane, you take it, you get a big old butane canister and in a tube, and you let the butane goes through and destroys the cell walls. And then you process that butane out in a pressure cooker. It's dangerous and it's nasty and it makes horrible tasting hash. And they have much better methods these days using vacuums and very, very low temperature cooking and alcohol, clean alcohol. And what's very cool about this process, if you do it, if you get the right equipment to do it or buy this one machine, is that you actually recycle like 90% of the alcohol that you used in the first place. So that one bottle just lasts you a long time. Right? It's clean. There's no byproduct other than chlorophyll. If you put too much, you have things you have to do with the timing and stuff, and that you have to just learn that over time. But that's the best way to do it these days, is a cold or low temperature alcohol extraction. Right? That's what you're looking for. What? Heat press for chemical-free dabs. No does alcohol. No residue with either.
Hey, John, could you give Stock Post a wrench so that he can post a link that it's impossible for us to interpret?
Sure. There you go.
There you go.
Butane is a solvent for THC. It doesn't break down the cell wall. Well, from what I've seen, it destroys the plant matter. That's the whole point. But whatever. This is the thing. I'm not an expert at that. I don't make concentrates. I was going to give all my trim to another guy. Have them make it. There was a water-based extraction method. There you go. Like I said, I'm going to give it some low temperature squishing. I did it once, and I just did a slow cooker, cooked it down, made butter, and it was very effective. But it was a total pain in the ass. Like, why do I want to do this shit?
Tie stick.
Yeah.
Kiko just mentioned tie stick from the 70s. I remember that. Oh, man.
Well, the Psycho Crack, the strain that I just finished harvesting right now, grows like tie stick. It goes in a spiral, tight buds wrapped around that's all tie stick was. And the fact that when they dried it, they hung it upside down and dried it like that, so it was just wrapped on the stick. It looked like, that was
my first experience, and I have never been that high since.
Really? You got to.
It was like I was walking across a field, like a playing field or whatever, and I felt like it was complete night with a spotlight on me as I walked. Talk about a nice paranoia. No, it wasn't nice. It was like, what's going on?
Sorry.
Poison. I was 14.
Oh wow, young.
Yeah.
Yes, Bernice. I know I can use the trim. That's what I did last time. I used my trim, but I don't want to do that. It's a pain in the ass. So I'll give it to somebody else. Have them make it. I prefer smoking anyway, just regular flower above anything, because I like getting all the taste. And you lose the taste, right? Mm-hmm. There are phenome infused concentrates, but they've added those phenomes back in. They're not naturals. I mean, they can use natural phenomes to add back in, but they're added back in the post process. That all of that flavor is stripped in a concentrate. So I don't prefer that. Tie stick was also color, thread wrapped for curing. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize they wrapped wrapped around for the curing, which makes sense. Because you can cure pot in all sorts of different ways. I used jars, but anyway, we're late now, which is good. It's about normal. So we're gonna end with the song. We're gonna end with. I had never heard of this guy, and I was really excited to hear the song and laughing at myself at my instant judgment on this dude. Not like serious judgment. I was just like, who is this guy with the fancy pants name? His name is Ray LaMontagne. That's
Ray LaMontagne.
LaMontagne.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, I like him. Oh, he's.
Do you
lovely.
like him? I don't know who the fuck he is. Ray LaMontagne.
He's like a Nick Drake type of vocalist, right?
Kind of. Well, there was another guy that was like a James Blunt. Reminds me of James Blunt a little bit.
Yeah.
So Slacker, like oftentimes I'll be talking and I see a song come on Slacker and I don't even hear, like I couldn't hear it. I had it muted, and I see the face of this guy and I'm like, who is this guy? And I see his name and I'm like, who is this guy with the fancy pants long name that's singing? And I'm just being a dick. I'm like, I don't even know who he is. It could be a good song. And I said, all right, fine, let's listen to this song. So I turned it up, and it just blew me away. It was like a really good song because his voice really cuts. It's really different. Like, you know, I had made up my mind about what his voice was going to be like based on his looks, and then you're like, oh, that's not him at all.
Yeah, he has this really interesting way of like swallowing the word at the end of a line and drifting off in a cool way. I'll be interested to see if the song does that.
Yeah, yeah, I'd say that. So this song is called "Let It Be Me." And the words are in the thing, but if you're not familiar with the song, I just learned about it. But the idea is, we all together, being human, are all faced with times in our lives where we need help from other people, and we're all faced with situations where we can offer help to other people.
Nice.
And, you know, this is to say, let it be me. When I'm able to help you, let it be me. When I need your help, let it be you. Right?
Right. And thanks everybody for all your help, because without you guys being here, we wouldn't have a whole lot to say to everybody.
Pretty much.
The audience.
Yeah. So thank you guys. And we're here to help you as much as we can be. Let it be us. And thank you guys. So, it's a Saturday Big Show, Laura. We're done. We'll get out of here with this tune.
Everybody have a great Saturday. Enjoy. Bye.
Bye.
Seems to go away when nothing seems to turn out right. There come a time you just can't seem to find your place. For every door you open, like you get to slime in your face. That's when you need someone that you can call when all your faith is gone. It feels like you can't go home. Let it be me. Let it be me. If it's a friend that you need, let it be me. Let it be me. Feels like you always coming up last. Pockets full of nothing, ain't got no cash. No matter where you turn, you ain't got no place to stand. You reach out for something and they slap your hand.